Welcome back to Stubbs Aquatics. It's mid-January, and we're dealing with a polar vortex, and we got some real concern with koi ponds in the local area. Got three pond owners together, and we're going to talk about the problems we're facing this winter. Man, it's cold.
It is chilly. Hurry up, will you?
Yeah, okay. Well, like I said, the main thing right now is we're dealing with temperatures in the minus 20s with the wind chill factor of minus 30 and minus 35. But I guess our fish really don't care.
No.
Because they're covered, right?
They're totally covered.
They're covered in ice and snow. There's just a small opening in this pond here, and barely an opening in the other pond that we'll take a look at here in a second. I mean, if your pond was wide open, that wind chill would have a bearing on your fish because it's wide open.
Chilling.
It's going to super chill that water.
Yeah.
So it's not good to have a great big opening in the wintertime because that will super chill the water. And, the people have their falls going all winter.
Yeah.
When it's really cold like that, it's either going to freeze solid and you're going to have one big snow or ice
blob.
Yeah.
Iceberg.
Or you're going to super chill your water. So that's why up here we don't keep it running.
Or you can also divert the water when it freezes up in that situation.
Yeah, that's how I lost all my fish the one year. It got diverted.
Yeah. It looks nice when it's running because it's cut through snow and ice and you got some water and a bit of sound.
It really didn't. Like, I was just pumping it through the skimmer and just to keep it clean and diverting it back into the pond with not splashing.
Yeah.
And it still froze up at that entrance and then diverted it all out to one end.
Yeah.
And it dropped about 2 feet to the bottom of where the skimmer is because I've got that really deep skimmer.
Yeah.
And with the snow and ice that was on the top, I couldn't tell the water had dropped.
Yeah. That's right. But the other thing too is if you're running a waterfall or a stream, that sort of thing, that water is cooling as it's going back into the pond.
Oh, yeah.
Plus you're circulating the warmer water from the bottom of the pond up. So you're dropping the temperature in your pond.
Now, I do wish I had a really good thermometer to get you all the way down. We're probably looking at the bottom of our ponds, 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, maybe, but which is okay.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 would be probably ideal for us.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned with this one pond. I did plug the heater in, and it really hasn't made much change.
It didn't really thaw the ice?
Well, there's a slight opening around where the heater is, and the bubbles are going up and out there. Yeah. So there is gas exchange.
Yeah.
There just isn't a real opening.
Yeah.
And you're going to ask me why I don't put a camera down there. Because the koi in my pond are right over there in the deep end.
Yeah.
And they're down 6 feet. The hole here is in the shallowest section, and I'm not going to be able to see them, so it's going to be a waste of time.
Yeah.
Same with this. Yeah. Unless you just get the camera just right, you're never going to see it. So let's have a look, and we'll take a walk around, and maybe even take a walk out in the ice.
Go for
Jim first.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, send the skinny guy first.
I don't even do that at my place.
Oh, today? Guess what? I'll save you. As you can see, this one's wide open. The heater's not plugged in. I did plug it in last night, but it really didn't do anything. You see a tiny bit of melt on the top of it. And that's a brand new one.
Yeah, but it has kept that opening open overnight. It would be frozen this morning.
It was about half that size that's open last night, and I plugged it in about 9 o'clock because the temperature was rapidly dropping, and it was probably minus 21, 22 when I plugged it in. But it's funny, no ice or no snow collects over this
in that one spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's thawed out that far and then reformed, but we haven't had any snow.
Now this pond here,
you can really see that aerator going on.
Yeah, you can really see it.
That's going well.
I'll just blow it up a bit, and maybe you can see it a little better.
Yeah, you can see, and I bet you there's a little puff of snow right there on this edge, and I bet you there's a lot of bubbles coming out.
Yeah,
you can see them rush into that one.
Well, if you see where the heater is, and it's going there. and it's going, like you said, to this one side.
on the
I'm
side.
sure if we took a shovel or a stick, it would
You'll
open.
find a hole in there.
I was going to boil some water and open it, but you know what? I know the water's escape, or water. I know the air is escaping, and there is gas exchange.
Yeah, you can see this isn't all that solid. I just
You-
touched it with
you
the end
touch
of the
it?
shovel.
Yeah, it's breaking
See,
up.
It's just almost
Yeah.
just like some hardened slush.
Yeah, definitely won't be walking on that.
No way.
Not even the rabbits are crossing there.
No, but I wouldn't push hard on it because I don't want any loud.
No, I don't want any loud noises scaring the fish.
No. Go ahead.
You know, normally you would send
Have
the skinny, thin, lighter guy out first to make sure the ice is fine. But his reasoning was if it holds me, it's going to hold him. And
I'll see you on the other side.
I'm not walking near that baby. I'm going to go right to the 6 foot. So, yeah.
I'll catch you when you go down
Yeah, really?
on film.
So this is where the koi are right now. I don't want to make too much noise for, you know, I don't want them moving. But I did want to see how thick the ice was. You know, sure, I could drill a hole and put the camera there, but
Yeah.
for what purpose?
If you're standing on it, it's probably a good 6, 7 inches.
I'd say at least 4 inches. At least. I don't hear any cracking and cracking. I mean, I've ice fished my entire life. This is good ice. That is not good ice. And I wouldn't go any closer than, about here.
Good thing Sanders not here.
Well, I've fallen through before. Actually tore a knee because my knee got caught up in the air and I was about 3.5 feet down.
Oh, man.
And it was a cold day like today.
Ice fishing?
Not in this pond.
No.
But I've fallen through in deep water of 100 feet ice fishing.
That
The
doesn't
first
sound
time I've ever been, way up north. Fell through. I got out right away, and a guy who had a hut said, "Get in here right away." He said, "Come on in, take off all your clothes." I took them off. I was freezing. Take them all off, put them in the heater. Said, "Okay, grab this fishing line. You can fish there. Here's a beer. Warm up." This is pretty good.
naked winter fishing.
Naked winter fishing. All we needed to do is really get it hot in there. Would have been like a sauna. Would have been cool. I mean, some explaining to do why I'm naked, but my clothes were drying and I was having a beer. And did I catch a fish? Yeah, one.
Ice fishing and a spa day all in one.
Yeah, I went to the spa. That swimming was cold though.
I bet. No kidding.
This is getting really cold.
Yeah.
I don't see that the rabbit's been around lately, even though that giant hole there.
You know, that's something that I really hate.
Rabbits?
Seeing footprints across my pond in the snow in the winter.
Yeah.
Squirrels, rabbits, stray cats.
Drives
Drives me
Can't
crazy.
stand stray cats. But what's weird with my pond is I'll never see fish in the openings like this.
No.
Let's go over to yours and we'll check out what's going on there.
All right, we might even catch a glimpse of Junior if we're lucky.
Okay, let's go. Do you think there's been any rabbits around here?
I would say 1 or 2, perhaps. That's a lot of
Holy
rabbit pellets.
shit factory. Oh, we're over at Jim's now.
It feels colder over here.
Well, you're further south than me
I know, but it feels colder.
by like 1.5 kilometers. And I noticed yours is a little bit shoveled and or cleaned right off.
Look at that. You can still see the wood. Yep.
No one likes to show off, Jim.
I've even shoveled behind you and all the way to the back corner for
whatever.
the dogs.
Shovel for a dog.
I do, yes.
You got Malamutes. I mean, you've got
Siberians.
Siberian Huskies.
Yeah,
They love snow.
yeah, but I don't like walking them in it. Okay, so it's for me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at the pond.
All right.
This is where the waterfalls would have been running.
Yeah, you can
And
sort of see the spillway under that opening in the snow
Yeah.
there.
I'm wondering, you've got this. What's with this?
That is right at the edge of my bog garden. So where that snow dips down to the ice, that is all rocks. So sun, I believe, is what's happening, is kind of melted it off when we have milder temperatures.
When's that?
And we've had them,
Well, we had them earlier.
yeah, only a few days ago.
That was mild, like Yeah, it got up to 0, I think.
Well, this pond, you can see the different
Oh yeah, ice
thicknesses of
levels.
ice, but you can also see a ridge in the snow.
So you're not walking out here?
No,
Come on.
that's how far back it was open just last week.
And I take it you got a heater going on this one?
I've got the heater going, I've got the aerator, but it's interesting how the aerator creates that patch of ice right over
up
top
top,
of it.
yeah.
So what I've been doing is just taking the broom handle and gently push and see if any of that will break off.
Yeah, you don't want to bang on it. That's going to shock
No.
your fish.
But I'd like to get it away so that the aerator
You
creates
know,
more ripple across the surface. So I just think it's better.
I'm wondering if it's better for that it doesn't, it's not hitting the air and then super chilling it. Maybe it is better that
It might be. I mean, it's still going, right? And the air's still coming out. So
it's still open. So
yeah,
I think it probably is not a bad idea that is ice covered, because that's going to get chilled, right? Because it's coming right up and splashing.
Yeah. And once again, that aerator is only down about 18 inches, so it's not right at the bottom. This is the deep end of my pond.
And your fish are never there.
No, my fish are in the shallow end.
Over there.
Over there. That's another reason I'm not going to walk on it, because they're so close to the ice.
Yeah.
But
I know, the right time they do swim by, but
yeah. Well, one of them, Junior, my big orange and black guy, he'll swim circles. He does laps. And it's really funny to see him appear from under the ice. There's this big arc around the deep end and then back under the ice to the shallow end. It's just like he's going out for a stroll.
Well, it is awful cold out.
It is. That wind's
picking up.
It doesn't help.
No. There should be gloves in this temperature.
Yep.
Now this is the Chevy pond.
This is the Shibunkin pond, and I don't have a heater in this one. You can see the aerator still going great, and I know the air is getting out kind of under the snow on the edge there. I have come out with hot water and opened that up, and I'll do that again today.
You may have to.
Just to open it up. I just like to have that open at least once a day. There's also a deceased Shibunkin in there.
I kind of see a fatality.
You see that whitish bit? And you can't tell if it's a leaf on the bottom. Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
That looks like the big female chubby. That was my big breeder.
Yipper.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
But you know what?
It happens.
She was probably at least 10 years old.
Yep.
And, between the weather and the stress, unfortunately, the weaker die off during the winter.
Yep.
And that's just the way it is in northern hemispheres when you're dealing with ponds outside.
Exactly. I'm not concerned. I mean, it's sad she's gone, but I'm not concerned for the rest of my fish. That's not an indication of the health of the rest of my fish in there.
Well, we got to go boil some water to open up that.
Yeah.
But you know what else is good about the snow in Canada? You never need an ice box.
Yes.
And I see 2 beers just, calling our names.
Well, there you
go. And this one is saying, Chris. The other terrible looking beer is going, Jim.
That's for the poor koi keeper. Or the koi keeper who puts all his money into his fish.
Well, there's certain things I'll cheap out on. Beer is not one of them.
Well, you know what? That allows me to buy my fish Northfin.
Well, having my wife buy me this is even better. Well, let's drink that and boil some water.
Sounds good. So I'm going to attempt to open this up. It shouldn't be too bad. It was open yesterday. Often what I'll look for is like a weak spot, and I'll try and get that open first and then just dump the water. By the way, hot water. I boiled the kettle once, threw that in there, added some hot water. So let's see what it does, if it opens anything right away or not.
I'll generally pour it all in one section. Now you can really see the dead fish.
Yeah, you can hear the bubbles coming up on the end here now. It's a little thicker than I thought. It might take a couple buckets.
Might. Yeah, I'd pour it all in one section. Where the bubbles are escaping right now?
Yeah.
Where they're headed?
Open that up more.
I would pour it all there.
But it's interesting too. I've done this where I've dumped a couple of buckets of hot water on it. Hasn't really done much. I'll walk away. walk by with the dogs, maybe an hour later, oh look, it's opened up.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you think that hot water would chill really
Well,
quickly.
usually if when you're making an ice rink, you put warm water on top.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah.
If not, just water to make it nice.
Yeah.
Ice for skating on.
Yeah.
Not that I want to skate on this pond.
No.
Like I said, it's around -20 right now, and you can see where all the bubbles are going to escape. So we'll put a little bit more hot water in that section, and that should open it up. I don't have a problem with an ice dome like that. That way it's not super chilling. But it'll, obviously the bubbles are all going to where they're escaping. So a little bit more hot water there, and I think he's set. Go ahead.
So I dumped that 1 bucket of hot water on there, and I can hear the air coming out. If I can, no, I guess I can't.
I think that's iced in. That's your curling, and gonna yell sweep.
I'm not a curler. No, but I know there's a little bit of a hole right there, and that's where I can hear the gurgling. So I know that there's exchange happening. Yep. Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty thick there, though.
Sure is. You can really tell when I stick that broom handle on there.
That's not even moving.
Nope, but it will. I'll throw another bucket on there, and it may take an hour or so, and it'll eventually open up. Well, bucket number 2. This one I'm going to dump closer to the edge where I can hear it gurgling because the ice might be a bit thinner there and easier to melt. So let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see that hole's a little further out from the edge now.
Right up.
Yeah.
Oop. It's opening right up.
Yep.
That's what you want. Unfortunately, won't be able to get that dead.
No, I'm going to have to wait for it to get a little milder and dump some hot water, get a bigger opening so I can get my net in there and get them out.
That's too bad, but I said she's probably pushing 10 years of age, and
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
I know a guy that's got lots more.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, it's important to keep some kind of an opening in the pond and make sure it'll freeze over. It's not a huge concern of mine. I mean, I might let that go for a couple of days as long as my aerator's going.
Yeah.
And then I'll open it up. I did have one instance several years ago where the pond had frozen over and I didn't realize it, just the way the snow was.
Yeah.
And one day I'm walking up and I could see a bit of an opening in the far corner and my koi were up. And I thought, oh, look, they're all doing well. And then I realized they're all gasping for air. So I got a little tabletop pump, stuck it in the opening to get some water moving, managed to get that opening bigger. A year later, one of them succumbed to that, almost suffocation. I thought they all survived.
It became weakened and
got weaker,
never really recovered.
Never recovered. So like I say, I'm not concerned if it's 2-3 days, as long as I can see that aerator going.
Yeah. The aerator's not going, things are bad.
Yeah.
Well, talking about things that are bad, we're going to head over to Darren's now and check out his pond.
Are you sure you're not too cold?
I'm not cold. Are you cold?
Well, we might have to warm up a little bit.
Might even put gloves on.
Yeah, it might be an idea. My hands are pretty cold.
Oh, could be from holding on cold beer.
Well, it could be too.
Well, let's check that out.
Alrighty, sounds good. Let's
go. Well, we made it over to Darren's. Yeah, I know. A rose between two thorns, or something really short between two fucking giants.
What are you wearing a cape for? You having a bad hair day?
Yeah. Well, that snow that's coming down. It may be a little bit cold on my melon. Anyways, we're going to talk to Darren here, and, well, we're going to check out his system that he's using.
Okay.
Well, let's hear about your system here, Darren.
Well, on the advice of yourself and Jim, I have a heater plugged in, an electric one, that seems to be working quite well, keeping the hole, depending on the temperature, somewhat open. I have a bubbler under there. Actually, I have two bubblers under there that seem to be working very well. The fish I've seen them a few times. They seem to be doing well. I don't think any of them have perished so far. Last year, I had them all in an IBC tote in the garage, just because the pond wasn't here at that point in time. So I had to do something with the fish that I brought from another house that we moved from. That worked well, and didn't have that option this year, unfortunately, due to the prolific breeding that happened out here during the first part of the spring.
And you still had other fish at the old house to bring over here, so your fish population probably tripled.
It kind of exploded.
Or more.
Yeah.
So there was no way you're going to be able to do that in an IBC tank. You'd have to have 3 or 4, and then you wouldn't have a garage.
Just wasn't practical.
And being your garage is it's insulated way better than mine, and actually, you don't really even need a coat out there.
No, it's quite pleasant. You can sit there and drink beer if you choose to.
Have you?
I have.
Me too. Anyways, let's look at your system, and then we can talk more about it.
Okay.
I could see an outline of what was open before, and then everything else is subsequently snow covered. And obviously you've got your falls off. So we're not going to stand on Darren's ice and snow. But you can really see how much is covered over, but I think that's pretty thin ice there, Darren.
Yeah.
In between the heater and there is a hole that's open. Right now it's cold and nasty out, but in a few days I would think that is really going to open. Are you going to keep that deicer going, or?
Yeah, that's the plan. I've just left it plugged in. It seems to have a thermostat on it. There's a little light on the top there that turns green and red. So I'm guessing when it's green, it's not heating, and when it's red, it is. So.
And I like the, I guess that's a 2x6 method you've got out there.
Yeah, it's just a little chunk of kind of fence board that I hooked the air lines to, so they could run straight down. The idea was that it would not freeze around them, but that hasn't quite worked.
Well, I think I'm going to incorporate a similar method, and then I'm going to put an actual elbow in there, and then I could see an outline of what was either with. I could see an outline of what was open before, and then call it done.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well,
the evolution of everything right there.
Well, any more concerns that you have?
Nothing really. There's a bit of algae that I see forming underneath the ice. I'm assuming that's probably a normal thing.
That is totally normal. There's lots of string algae that always comes out in the spring, right?
Yeah, but if you have that in any kind of algae, plankton, that sort of thing over the winter, the fish are going to munch on it during the winter.
Just a little snack.
Yeah, they don't need much over the winter, obviously, but they will munch on it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, other than that, it seems to be going so far. I guess we'll see in the spring once the ice goes away if there's been any casualties.
If and when winter ever ends.
It will. Soon.
Has to.
It's almost Groundhog Day.
Well, speaking of ending soon, Canadian cooler. In this case, literally, a Molson Canadian cooler. Well, we can't let those freeze up.
I realized that when I said it.
Snow? When does there ever snow in Canada?
Around here.
There's snow in Florida.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah, they got what, -14 or something last night?
Yeah, crazy.
I almost felt bad for them.
No.
Well, I said almost.
Pretty good for a long time.
Well, I feel bad for the people who actually, succumb to it.
Yes.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's only fair that we share some of this lovely weather we get.
Mm. They share theirs with us in the summers.
Yeah, we get hot and humid in the summer, so.
Well, I hope we have a hot, humid one this year.
Well, thanks for having us over, Darren.
My pleasure.
Thanks for the beer.
Thanks, Darren.
Welcome.
And thanks everyone who watched this episode. Remember to hit that thumbs up. Think about subscribing and hit that notification bell. Right?
I think you covered it all. You're getting better.
Well, thanks for your help.
Hey, no problem. I did a lot today.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
just have
Whatever.
my face in the videos.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that attracts a lot of people there in itself.
sure does.
Anyways, thanks again for watching. Especially if you made it this far. Hey, what do you think of the shirt? I love it. Thanks, guys. See you real soon.